What is up, everybody? Twitterverse TV here today, and we're going to talk about these game reviewers who have been having a questionable history with their job as a game reviewer. So apparently, this guy, he's a publisher right now, but apparently he spent a part of his time of his career being a game reviewer, and he has made a major revelation that he has not. Well, this is what he stated. He says you don't need to finish a game to review it, and your editor should be asking you to do that, especially when it would destroy you to do so. In my 8 years of reviewing video games, I probably finished around 10% of them, and my opinions were rarely out of line with others. So yeah, this is pretty wild right here. That you're gonna game reviewer admitting that he doesn't actually finish the video games that he reviews and gives a score regardless. Now you would never see somebody write do a book review, a movie review, pretty much a review about anything, whether it be like a toaster or a microwave. You're going to see somebody do a review without actually finishing the product before reviewing it. But apparently the game industry is different. You don't have to finish a game to review it. Like that is just mind-boggling to me. But yeah, this guy's getting roasted. A lot of people have responded to this guy, and they don't agree with this guy's stance whatsoever. It's kind of crazy how you think these people review these games, they finish the games before they review it, but nope, they don't review it. He said he finished 10% of a game. What is 10% of a game? Wow, that's like barely even starting it. Oh, he said he barely finished 10% of the games he played. So yeah, I wouldn't take his opinion. I wouldn't take his review seriously whatsoever. This is definitely not looking good. And he just makes game reviewers look bad if they can't finish the game. Their job is literally get paid to play video games and review them. Like they can't even do the simple. They can't even finish the game. Like geez. Let's see. There's a very real point to not destroying yourself or recovering a game. No one should let the job take over the life. That said, for me, the standard should be outlets allowing reviews to miss embargoes. If they're not ready, readers deserve truly informed opinions before buying. Yeah. Oh, why not just say, if you haven't finished the game, why not just say, give your impressions of the game? Why not let people know that you haven't finished the game? That seems super deceptive and shady to me. So this guy says he agrees. In fact, I've been trying to trim the time I put into a game for reviews. Lately, just watching the open cinematic leaves me feeling confident enough I have a real grasp on their entire game. I assume this guy is trolling because there's no way this dude is serious. He just looks at the opening cinematic. He can review a game off that. Like, this is just stupid. Nobody should take this guy's review seriously. Big agree. In fact, I think the opening logos and boot menu should be enough to get a good feel of the game and enough to recommend. If you can't do the bare minimum required for the job, then don't do it. No one is forcing you to. Let someone who actually cares about the profession review it instead. Yeah, there's people on YouTube taking these guys' jobs. People on YouTube are just reviewing games. It's like, but these guys are journalists. They're getting paid to do it. But you got YouTubers just reviewing games now and doing the same thing they're doing. Sometimes when I'm finished painting half of someone's house, I go home, take a bath until my boss is done. Yeah. You shouldn't have to finish painting someone's house if it's your job, and I can't believe clients would expect you to do so. If you don't finish the game and you're only halfway, but the end is the best part of the game, how the hell does your review hold any credibility? Make it make sense. By the way, never even heard of you. I guess this is why your reviews don't mean anything. He's an edgelord because that's the only strategy he can come up with to get engagement. But yeah, like what this guy was saying before. If you only beat like half the game, then you won't know the last half of the game is a lot more difficult. As the story just gets ridiculous or as it gets a lot better, you wouldn't know because you only played half the game. So this is just these reviewers are just. I'm not understanding these guys. Like this is definitely a ridiculous take right here. This guy says, I think developers shouldn't finish developing a game as well since you don't finish their games to review. Interesting take. I can understand not doing everything in games that can stretch 50 plus hours. Yeah, you don't got to do every little side quest in the game, but you can at least complete the main story and at least do a big chunk of the side quest so you get a big grasp of the game. But just not finishing the game at all is just like, what are we doing here? Why are you even reviewing this game? OMG, the amount of negativity around here. I don't think people get what you mean. A few games are easily doable. Those are 10 hours, 15 hours tops. But strategy games, open world games with 50, 80 hours. Now, you don't need to play all of it to review it. It's nuts. Well, nobody's expecting you to do all that, to play like 100 hours of a game. So I was like, because I'm pretty sure it's like including like side quests and stuff like that. But pretty much, if you this guy made it sound like he wasn't finishing any games. That's the way he got impression. He wasn't finishing any of these games. I feel like you should at least be past the halfway point, because games sometimes like to switch up. Games like Dragon Quest XI are, okay, have an Act 2 sort of deal. Yeah, me, when I'm asked to review a game, I just look at the picture on the cover. That's close enough, right? Yeah, people are just being sarcastic now at this point, because this is definitely a very ridiculous take that this guy doesn't finish games that he reviews. It's quite shocking, to be honest. Let's see people have to say in the quote tweets. If it loads. So you write first impressions, not reviews. We call that your impression, not a full review. There is a difference, but good job throwing your credibility out the window. Yeah, he definitely has done that. Wild dudes on Twitter really glorify the fact they have been a fraud for 8 long years. Yeah, he's definitely proud of being a fraud, pretty much. Never seen a critic telling themselves so much. LOL. Unfortunately, there's a lot of so-called game critics like this guy. Wow, I mean just wow. How the F am I better at casually talking about games than people who are paid to do it? Yeah, that's kind of sad when you think about it. These guys are paid to review games, but they can't even bother to be finished. They can't even be bothered to finish the game. And literally no other industry does that. I don't think of any industry that does that, where it's like you don't have to finish the product. You could just review without finishing the product. Wow, but no, it's just wow. People who are so-called professional reviewers often play a game for less than an hour and think it's enough time to describe every detail of a game, when people who actually play a game constantly are still finding things decades later. So what you're telling me is school kids have higher standards applied to them in writing of book reports than someone who is a profession? Yeah, pretty much. Imagine not finishing Metal Gear Solid 5 and writing about how complete the story is because you never finished it. For nearly a decade, you had the dream job of playing video games and writing about them, but you can't even be bothered to finish them. And yet I wonder why we clown on you guys every time you speak about what's good and what's bad. Explains a lot about the quality of game reviews, or the lack thereof. If you're a journalist like this, then don't expect your reviews to be taken seriously. Imagine if a film or a book critic said this. Yeah, they would be laughed out the industry. They wouldn't be taken seriously whatsoever. This is why small YouTube channels do your job 100 times better. I kind of got to agree with that, because at least the YouTubers they'd be honest and say this is like an impressions video, or a review that actually finished the game. But these guys they didn't put like 10% of the game and be like, hey, this is a review. Like that's just nonsense right there. 10% completion of the games you played in 8 years, bro. You deserve an industry change. You don't belong here. Yeah. LMFAO, every single day journalists become less and less recognizable as humans. You know, there's millions of other jobs you can do instead, right? Like go review movies or something, damn lazy ass dudes. Yes, the F you do. This is why nobody takes you game journalists seriously. MF, all you have to do is play the effing game. It's not hard. You're being paid for it. At the point I'm gonna tell you to get a real profession, if you can't do your job right, which is / playing video games, learn to code. Imagine publicly admitting that you're replaceable and expendable like this. Only 10% should have kept this one in the drafts, my man. Nuclear take. What if a game is us, it's okay to not finish it and say that it is us. Breaking news, video game journalists actually do not play video games at all. So this guy's getting roasted. Nobody's agreeing with this guy's take. I see like maybe like one comment who was agreeing with this guy, but that was like the extreme instance of games like over 100 hours. But yeah, nobody's pretty much agreeing with this guy whatsoever. You wouldn't even think that if somebody was reviewing a product, they wouldn't like finish it. So yeah, once again, these guys are laughing. They wonder why gaming journalists don't get taken seriously, and this is why. Because this is a ridiculous take right here. Like previous people have said before, no other industry would accept this nonsense, especially in the film or book critics. But yeah, but apparently the game industry is different. But yeah, his review shouldn't be taken seriously whatsoever. That's my thoughts about this. But Definitely want to see your thoughts down below. Leave a like if you like this video. As always, thanks for watching and peace.